Yasmin has a fun one for you today, so let's roll the intro and start talking. Hello, Sunshine.
What? Have you gone completely insane?
Yes, why not?
I think that the Thursday has got the best of you.
No, I've been feeling really well all week.
Oh, yes. In any case, let's do a serious one today
Oh, okay.
because I wanted the culprit is basically a veteran because he asked me to come up with something that is let's say important on Twitter's or he was trying to make fun of it. What was on the X right now an important topic, and the important topic is actually a serious one. And this is the using AI tools, more or less Grok, because nothing is being used other than Grok on the internet when it comes to Twitter, and using it to create either deepfake images,
Mhm.
either videos, or what's even worse, more or less, let's make it decent and say removing clothes from people without their consent. Because this is something you do. You don't want the examples.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes. So anyway, the thing is that this has taken its toll on people, and it's basically completely more or less, and it doesn't make any sense. And the thing that is happening is that right now, EU and some of the other countries, EU not being a country but being a union, but some countries are also thinking about banning either Grok or banning Twitter wholesale because they think that this thing should be stopped.
Mhm.
Now, what Twitter did or what Elon Musk did is that he said that in order to combat this thing, he's going to stop Grok from producing images and videos unless you're paying for it.
Mhm.
So now, as it stands right now, the thing is if you want to produce videos and images that are indecent, you need to pay.
Mhm.
So we have switched from being a free platform to create images that are illegal to a paid platform to create images that are legal. I don't see how that's better, but let's talk on it.
Okay.
So, do you have any opinions?
Oh yes, I have plenty of them. It's just the matter of
So,
how PG-19 you want to be, or PG-13.
we need to be a PG5.
PG-5. Okay. When we talked about AI in many of the episodes of this podcast, um, we talked about practical use cases for it that were mostly positive, I think, at least in a way. We talked about how to use AI to generate a CV, generate some images or videos, but we never went into the opposite direction, which kind of lends itself to the first major point, which is related to ethics of it. Currently, less than prescribed, less than taught in any kind of school or faculty or whatever, while the AI is running rampant. Uh, People are trying to figure out what the legislation for it should be. There are a couple of laws that have been introduced, especially in the European Union in the past year for this. But this just follows along with what happens when a major disruptive technology comes to the market and how the remaining part of the society waits for the laws to be written to try to catch up with reality. And this has happened many, many times in the past. I think that the only real difference this time is that it took way too long for that to happen. Let me give you an
Uh,
example.
yes.
When Uber disrupted a lot of the existing, let's say, taxi like services, it didn't take all that much time for the legislature to wake up and then to introduce laws in which basically Uber becomes another type of taxi. This happened all over the world. This thing started happening. It was already mass announced and mass consumed when we started doing the podcast, which was more than 3 years ago. So it took better part of 2.5 years for everybody to start coming together and start figuring out some things that need to be put in place so that any permanent harm doesn't come to people, which still happens, obviously. My first problem with it, writing on the topic of ethics, is that it creates incredibly asymmetric harm. One person does the crappy operation, many people suffer. That's the first point that I want to make. So now you can take over.
No, the thing is that you more or less made the point in the middle of the thing while you were explaining the uh, speed in which the legislation got changed when it comes to Uber and the different things. And I think that this is the most important part. The legislation and the legislator, specifically the legislator, are more or less completely illiterate when it comes to IT.
Hmm.
The reason why Uber and the services and the disruptive technology and whatever was the what's the way the name back then was so important to be stopped immediately was because the legislator understood the economic consequences of what they're doing. So
Hmm.
they understood that there is going to be a huge economic problem, and when money comes to light, and when they are trying to save money, most of the politicians are pretty much inclined to act quickly. Now, the AI at first didn't show so many, didn't display so many ways in which you can hurt other people.
Yeah.
AI looked like a stupid thing, but it looked like a stupid thing that is going to be the same stupid thing as with everything else. It's going to be basically a stupid text generator. Then later, and this is in the last year and a half, not much more, first started the images, which at first were awful, and they didn't show any promise that they're going to be close to reality as they are now. And then we suddenly came into the world where you can actually take somebody else's image and create a deep fake or just a fake, because it's no longer a deep fake, it's now a fake. You can do
Hmm.
anything with everybody else. And you know this because out of the joke, one of our colleagues created a fake of me.
Hmm.
The only thing that is that this fake wasn't that annoying to me because I didn't mind. It was done without my consent, but as I said, I didn't mind. And this is the only reason why this thing um, was not interesting to other people. As soon as you start doing things without other people's consent, and they actually say, "Okay, I do mind about this," now this becomes a problem because consent is a thing.
Yeah, and it always should be a thing. And more to the point, maybe on a wider scale, it kind of further, further, kind of like brings down the idea of reality as a shared reference point. That's my big problem with it as well, because with some of the fakes that I've seen in the past couple of days, literally, they were incredibly realistic and very, very close to the stuff that I know that they represented. I saw some pictures from some actors. I saw some videos from some actors, deepfakes, all of them. They were like um, almost perfect to the 99 percentile or something. It was very difficult to really catch a glimpse into the details that make that kind of make it. How should I put this? They kind of make it possible for you to realize that the video or the picture is fake. It's something that's incredible. And on the other hand, it kind of further further works with the point of deepfake that doesn't have to be perfect, just believable enough, and it's already causing problems.
I'm going to go with a historical thing. I'm going to go deeply, deeply, deeply back in the history, and I'm going to remind everybody that faking video and faking media was something that was done years and years and years and decades ago.
Hmm.
The Loch Ness Monster video,
Hmm.
the Yeti video, and so on and so on. There were other very high profile videos that came out that are supposed to be depicting something that later more or less got debunked in one way or the other. And the thing is that people were interested in doing this, but this was a tedious, long, and complicated job to do.
Hmm.
Now, suddenly, you can make a deep fake video or a fake video by using just a single prompt and nothing else.
Yeah.
You can just spend and the thing is that it's not only the that you need to make an effort.
Hmm.
Now it takes less effort to create a fake video than to create a real one,
Yeah.
and this is what is the problem, because people who weren't able to create a video now are able to create fake videos, and they're able to create it in such a way that it actually is harmful to people and is harmful to society. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say that we live in a post reality world, because what is happening is that the only thing that you can actually trust right now, and this can also change, only the things that you saw with your own eyes that were done in actual real time in front of you. Any transmitted information, so any video, any audio, any way of transmitting information by phone, by fax, by whatever, can be faked now.
Hmm.
So there is no way to anchor yourself into in reality that you haven't participated in.
Furthermore, to kind of like harp a little bit more on the asymmetric nature of the relationship that happens now, uh, it really makes it complicated for people who are involved in these videos, so who are harmed by these videos, to kind of like have plausible deniability, to kind of like debunk what's in the video. Oscar Wilde, I think it was who said that, a lie can go 2 tours around the world because before the truth can wake up and put the shoes on, or something like that. This is even more so pronounced when AI is concerned nowadays, and with people having access to these free tools and or subscription tools, doesn't really matter which ones. um, the real footage can be dismissed as AI generated, so complete reversal of the topic. And then creating the video in general takes a little bit of a prompting in a couple of minutes, and then proving it's fake takes experts, tools, time, money, attention. It's just incredible how quickly a technology that mostly we should be using for good becomes the weapon of big harm. Right? Let's call it that way.
I think that right now, what Google is doing, and I cannot believe that I'm saying this, what Google is doing right now is that I think that they're fighting the actual good fight. In
Okay.
some of the ways that they're what they're doing is, first they're creating different tools that are pretty powerful and pretty capable of doing certain things. And the other thing is that what they're doing is they have their own, I think it's called Sense ID. They have their own way of embedding digital information that actually provides the information which tool created the video or the audio. So basically, they're fingerprinting all the videos that they're creating,
Okay.
and they are doing it in such a way that it can be actually deciphered from the video, so you can actually prove that this was created by the AI tool. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that this is the right way to do it or the best way to do it, because it isn't. If somebody is going to have if somebody wants to create a rogue tool that is going to not use the fingerprinting, it is going to happen.
Hmm.
But for the most part, I want the easiest tools to use and the most available tools to embed something that is going to be able to stop casual faking of video.
Hmm.
But I think that the harm has already been done.
There's actually something else for a lot of people who are just not necessarily negative. They just like to play around with technology, and or even if they are bad people. Doesn't really matter. The end and net result is that they get um, exculpated from responsibility in a lot of times. Basically, by saying it was just satire, I would just wanted to do this as a demo, just experimentation, whatever. All of the sudden, the intent is something that's very difficult to prove. But the problem is that the impact, the net result of what people are putting in those deepfakes videos, is something that actually is real and it stays real, and it's deeply concerning what's happening there.
It's not only that. The thing is that
And it
we
kind
have
of
seen.
rewards people who are bad in a sense as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Unfortunately, especially services like X, what they're doing is that right now X is trying to wind up the. He's going basically they're trying to get the audience back, and what they're doing is they are also monetizing the content.
Hmm.
Now on X, the biggest thing that you can do is to have some viral tweet that everybody else is going to see and click on. The easiest way to do it is to fake things using Grok.
Hmm.
So what they're doing, they have created an closed ecosystem that consists of people who are willing to pay for the slop content or fakes. A tool that is more or less free if you are paying. So it's a paid tool, but you are paying for it by subscribing to Twitter.
Hmm.
And then all of this actually is there to create content that is going to be clickable.
Hmm.
So we are incentivizing people to create as much clickable content as possible. And we all know what clickable means in this particular context. So this is one of the problems. The other problem that we have right now is that we have seen this thing, I don't know, let's say 30 years ago, when hacking became a thing. Because if you remember, the first people who, in the 80s in the United States, in the 90s in Croatia, the first people who did harm or did something in the cyber space were hailed as misguided kids, people who are who are trying to show something. They're so smart, they're so capable, and so on. It is later that we realized that this is going to be a problem, and then we started penalizing it. But the first class of the or the first generation of the hackers that we have seen, uh, some of them extremely good, some of them extremely stupid, were hailed as heroes who know how to use the new technology. And I
Hmm.
think that the same thing is happening now, but the timeline is condensed.
Yeah, it's just I kind of found the term that I would like to use to describe this. Like it's moral outsourcing.
Okay, try to explain.
Basically, who cares about what the good or bad is? Somebody else is going to think about that in the future. Right now, I want to either play with something or do something intentional harm, and then I'm going to say that it was just a test, it was just a game, whatever, shifting responsibility from myself, as if there are no precursories to all of this, as if there is no thought process that happened before this harmful content was made. And this pisses me off to no end because it will disproportionately yet again influence all of the standard types of people that have always been, hit by new technology in the past.
But I think that this is one of those things where legislation done by the EU and
Hmm.
legislation done by US primarily is going to come into stark contrast because of the way that legislators think on both sides. The thing is this: uh, let's take, for example, food.
Hmm.
The way that the states handle food
Hmm.
is that more or less everything is permissible unless it is something that is harmful, and you can put anything on the market, and then if it's proven to be harmful it is going to get taken back.
Okay.
In the EU, you need to prove that the things are not harmful because before you put them to the market. So
Hmm.
you cannot just come up with the compound X, put it on the market, say this is going to solve your whatever problem, and then this is going to be a food. You need to
Hmm.
actually first avoid everything that is on the forbidden list, and then the second thing that you need to do, you need to create the or you need to make sure that you are documenting everything. In the United States, it was there were funny examples in the past. Do you remember? I probably showed it to you. Do you remember the Cohin serum? The Cohin syrup that was distributed in the start of the what is the 20th century? So 1901, 1902. That
Yeah,
contained formaldehyde, heroin. What was then in other
many
drugs.
not so much allowed substances.
Yes, but the thing is that it was probably very effective in what it did. It is not that the lifespan of people who took it was large, but at least they didn't cough. But the thing is that it was permitted back then. And then we somehow realized that this is going to be wrong. And then we decided to do something about it. I think the same thing is going to happen with the AI.
When you're talking about legislation, I think it's going to further kind of like drive the wedge between the two sides of the story, not only US and EU, because we are at the opposite end of the AI regulation. I think because EU has made some stark progress, let's call it that way, in terms of the AI Act and everything. So, um, what all of this does is it kind of forces. How should I put this? It kind of forces um, people to either develop overreaching regulation or none at all. It further kind of like puts extreme edge on the table in terms of the differences in approach, how all of this is handled. Because US mostly is trying to kind of like say, yeah, do as much as that as possible. This is going to drive the economy, and that's that. And if you went through the AI Act from the European Union, it's far removed from that.
But the thing is that right now, creating an act that is going to fully encompass what is possible and what can be wrong when it comes to AI is almost impossible to do because we don't know the limits of the technology. So, trying to legislate the technology that is currently developing and trying to come up with all these different solutions either means that you are going to under deliver, so you're going to create rules that are going to be completely unenforceable and that are going to be so lag that they shouldn't be there, or you're going to be over delivering and you're going to be forbidding a lot of things that could be possible in the future, and that this could stem some actual piece of technology. Because the problem with AI is that AI itself has, and I must repeat this, it has some useful things it can do. The number of things is increasing,
Hmm.
but by over legislating, we could possibly stop this thing from happening, and this could be a problem. So I would guess that EU needs to create more flexible frameworks to be able to uh, legislate, but to be able to tweak very quickly what is happening in the AI world, while the US needs to start taking this thing seriously and try to do something.
Uh, you sound like a righty all of a sudden.
But it's
I'm
not.
just
It's
kidding. I'm
no, no.
just
But
kidding.
I'm in this particular thing. I'm not righty or lefty. I think that there should be legislation
Yeah, sure.
because I deeply believe in the human rights. I deeply believe in the mostly leftist world. But the thing is that I, on the other hand, am old enough to understand that people are people. So
Yes.
some things should be regulated, not too much, but complete liberalism doesn't work,
Yeah, I
especially
agree.
when there are no people.
Yeah, I agree. And not only that, on top of it, it kind of like normalizes certain types of harassment. That's the end result. Then psychological damage is quite big. The I would say that there are two things that worry me the most from a human perspective. First one is that it kind of destroys trust, what's left of it, in information that you can find online. That's the first part of the story. And then the second part of the story, it further destroys the trust not only between people or between people and the information that they find on the internet. It kind of destroys the trust that the world functions properly, which then yet again has a feedback loop towards what the legislature is doing. It further widens the gap between what people need versus what people who are doing the legislation are doing about it, because uh, again, some things should be at least a little bit regulated. I think quite a bit more than what they are right now, because uh, recently, actually a couple of months ago, I've seen a very disturbing video related to something related to children. It wasn't the worst thing that you can think of. It was just something. Even I would argue that it was even worse. It was about child kidnapping and a deep fake video related to that. And we showed it at the conference, and I can tell you that the reaction from the audience on the conference, 300 people were there, was that they were silent for the next couple of minutes, unable to speak. And this is going
Yes,
to
and
keep on happening in various different ways, which we haven't even invented yet.
yes, and the thing is that what is happening is that the uh, technology is getting misused in the ways that we cannot comprehend.
Mhm.
And I'm going to give you an example. Uh, I cannot find it right now, but I'm going to try to find it. Although we are not going to be able to put it in the description. But the thing is this: uh, I was browsing uh, ads for new apartments or for
Mhm.
apartments, and I actually found an apartment that is pretty close to what I have. And I was trying to find. Basically, I was browsing to see what the prices are in the area.
Mhm.
I found an apartment that was pretty similar to that I have, and the problem is that in this particular area, in my particular apartment, is one of those copy paste apartments and copy paste blocks where all the apartments look the same.
Mhm.
And then I found an apartment that was. It sounded like it is the same apartment. It was the same size. The location was fine, and so on and so on. It transpired that this is an apartment that is basically uh, 50 meters from the apartment that I have. But the thing is that the image that I saw
Mhm.
made it look amazing. And then in the description, it says that the images from the apartment are not real. They are just representatives of what could be done with the apartment later.
I think I saw something very similar, not the same one, but something very similar, because I was doing the same thing a couple of days ago.
And this is annoying, and this is annoying in so many ways that I cannot describe it, because they're basically advertising something that does not exist using tools and then telling you, okay, but if you made an effort, this could be looking like this.
Mhm.
So what's the point of the ad? You're not selling the thing. You are selling the future possibility of a thing and pricing it accordingly.
That's something that's been happening in the human society for many decades.
Yes, but we didn't in a particular place in time and space. We didn't try to we tried to make the thing look better. We didn't try to make the images look better.
Okay.
So if you got the images, I don't know, for a car, for a apartment, the images were made when there was enough sun, when there was enough light, everything was clean and everything else. But I haven't seen up until now that somebody actually said, okay, this is a completely generated image. It could look like this.
Mhm.
So they're selling you an alternative reality.
One other human aspect of this, which has taken like ground, and it's been there for many, many years now. There are a lot of people who are very skeptical about the people, the society, the politicians, the legislature, the world, the weather, the flat Earth, the whatever. There are many, many people who are skeptics, and I think, and my personal opinion is that the amount of those people is increasing every year. I think that. this is one of these times in history when people like that are going to increase heavily in numbers because of all of the things that we already discussed. So it kind of like forces you, if you want to really kind of like master the topic, if you want to be not caught up in the vortex of deepfakes and everything else, you kind of have to think about it. And the only way to approach that thought process is by being skeptical about it. Doesn't really matter if you're sarcastic or if you're intellectual or if something else. Doesn't really matter. It forces a lot of different types of people into the very deep levels of skepticism. This is not good.
Yes, and the thing is that is happening is that not only that it is not good. The problem is that the net result is that nobody is going to believe in anything because you have
Yes.
to be skeptical about things, and suddenly you need to be skeptical basically about everything that you see. And
Mm.
we are coming up to my first premise that you are not going to be able to believe anything that you haven't seen by yourself. So suddenly, from the internet is going to make you or empower you to buy things remotely. It is going to empower you to do business quickly and so on. Suddenly, we have a reality in which you cannot do anything unless you actually pick up your feet and go somewhere to take a look at the physical thing before
Hmm.
you buy it, because everything is a lie. And this is wrong. This is a big step backwards for the human society. And I think that this is one of those things where AI is not slowly but quickly destroying the fabric of the way that we are doing things.
Fabric of the society. You can call it this way easily.
But it's not only the society,
I know.
because when I think about society, I think about social order, I think about communication and so on, but also the business, everything else.
Hmm.
And I don't see how this is going to end or how to fix this thing before it ends.
You think that we left the monster out of the cage too much too
Yes,
early,
yes, 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 yes.
and that means that you're probably going to do a PhD topic on it.
Um, yes, because what I did and what I'm thinking about doing is to actually try to completely shift the idea of what I'm doing. But uh, let's keep my PhD out of it for right now.
I had to
Uh,
go somewhere because we were pretty dark.
but I'm not dark. I'm trying to find the exit for this thing.
Don't see it yet.
I don't see it either, but unless we are talking about it, it is going to be completely hidden. Simply because the majority of the people like this the way it is right now. Because majority of the people have fun making fun of other people. Majority of the people have
That's
uh,
called being an asshole.
not only this. The problem is that we have combined the worst of the worst. We have combined the idea of on the internet you can do whatever you want because this is not real life,
Hmm.
with the idea of we now have tools to actually make it look like real life, and since this is in the internet, there is no harm to them.
Hmm.
And we have both drawn from the worst from the people, and then we enable them to do this on the internet.
I think that overall, that ship has sailed many, many moons ago because a lot of times, and we personally know some examples of this. To come back to your example of hacking, so many crap like that, enormous amount of crap like that happened. Nobody got punished. So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in, punishing everybody for everything. It would be much better if people were, adult enough not to go too far, which currently I don't think we can count on, especially with regards to the topic that we're currently discussing. But you know, some of the some of the stuff that happened in the past 5, 6, 7 years, like for example, GDPR. Let's go that way. I think that it fundamentally improved a lot of things.
Yes, yes, GDPR
Nobody,
was one of
yeah,
the best things that has happened to the internet when it comes to the internet in the EU. And I see a lot of people from the
not
states
only
actually
you.
stating this. No, no, but you see, all the people from the states actually saying this because they are realizing that what GDPR did is that it created a framework that was created so early that it fixed a lot of problems that were apparent only later.
Because there is like a, let's call it a brother slash sister legislation that happened after GDPR in multiple countries all over the world, and it forced us into the recombination of the relationship that we have with regards to private data with US and many other countries in the world as well. So net result of that is very good. I'm hoping that something like this could happen with AI as well. I just don't know how quickly because this topic is much more complex.
I'm not sure that how this thing is going to end, and I don't know what is going to happen later. But the thing is that uh, what is happening right now begs for some sort of regulation.
Okay.
And I don't know where this regulation is going to come from. As I said, I'm amazingly um, pretty surprised by what EU was able to do. And I also see that the legislation itself is important right now. The thing that bothers me and that makes me scared is that what can happen and what theoretically could happen with the legislators that should be creating this legislation.
Yes.
Because the GDPR itself was created by consensus. I see that the things that are being written right now when it comes to cybersecurity and cyber laws and everything else are not that well written and not that well developed.
Hmm.
Simply because there is no uh, the amount of knowledge about the things is not that great.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways, let's try to finish this thing and make people actually stop and think about it.
Hmm.
I'm not talking about the Black Mirror way of finishing it, but just saying that this is awfully close. And just a quote on this, because I remember the Black Mirror for a reason. Um, the Charlie Brooker, who is creating the Black Mirror, said that he's right now trying to come up with stories that are going to be that are not going to be a documentary in 3 years, but let's say in five,
Hmm. Okay.
because some of the things that he actually said and he actually created are actually completely true right now.
Yeah, there were many people who uh, kind of like saw the crystal ball of the future 50, 60, 70 years ago and weren't wrong.
So this has been the Dark IT Show.
Yeah.
Uh,
First one and
and
the last one for a long time.
no, 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 no. I'm going to go with the. We need to become a decent, down to earth podcast intended for people who wear ties every day. We should be wearing ties. I was at the train the trainer. I was at the train the trainer today.
Me too.
That said that I need to be freshly shaven and I need to wear
Suit and tie.
emblazoned. No, no, emblazoned wear that I need to be on the where I'm on the seminars and so on. So let's finish on this thing, and we'll see you next week with something probably a little bit lighter.
Probably, surely. Bye.
Okay, bye.